All right, let's get started. The goal of today's episode is to explain how to calculate your personal net worth, why it's so important, and how all the flashy cars and big houses aren't always the best indicators on how wealthy someone is or isn't. Specifically, we're talking about your assets minus your liabilities. Let's slow that down. Another way of saying this is your personal net worth is all the money and stuff you own minus all the money you owe other people. Now, this is so important because net worth is the single best measurement of your personal wealth. And there are so many people right now who are being let go from their jobs or suddenly find themselves getting less hours. And part of knowing your net worth is understanding if you're going to be financially okay during those rough patches. Looking on the bright side, if you're like me and you want to increase your wealth and become financially independent, then you need to know where you stand today so you can take the steps in the right direction to grow your wealth in the future. If that's something that sounds interesting, then let's get started. Before we do that, I'm Rich and this is my second YouTube video. My day job is a teacher, and for the past few days, schools have been closed across the country. I decided this week that if I'm not going to be able to see my students, then I would start a YouTube channel talking about personal finance. If you like this kind of video, please drop a like and hit subscribe. Like I said, I'm brand new to YouTube, so I really appreciate the support. All right, so net worth. Let's start with an example. Say you have someone working in advertising, and for the sake of this example, let's call him Michael. Now, Michael's been working for a few years, just bought his first house, has a nice car, a little bit of money in the bank, maybe even a couple dollars in a retirement account. Everything I just mentioned about Michael would be considered his assets, also known as all the money and stuff he owns. And it seems like Michael's doing pretty well for himself, right? I mean, he's got a good job, owns some real estate, has a nice car, even a little bit of money saved up. But appearances can be very deceiving, so let's dig a little deeper on Michael's net worth. What we don't see from the outside looking in is that Michael has a hefty mortgage on that home, has a car loan on that nice car, has some credit card debt that he carries month to month, and he owes tens of thousands of dollars in student loans. Everything I just mentioned about Michael would be considered his liabilities, also known as all the money he owes other people. More than likely, when we subtract all of Michael's liabilities from his assets, Michael has a very low net worth simply because he owes so many people so much money. I mean, he gets a good paycheck, but then he has to pay the bank for his mortgage, the car dealership for his car, the credit card company, and the student loan company. In reality, there's not a lot left for Michael at the end of the day. He's barely making ends meet. Now, by no means is Michael alone here. He's not a unique example. The truth is that the first step in helping Michael and all of us grow our net worth is we first need to calculate our net worth and be aware of what that number is. Let me use an analogy I think might hit home for some people. The first time you calculate your net worth is like stepping on a scale when you think you got to get into better shape. It's scary. I mean, whatever that number is you're seeing, you're afraid of. But I'll remind you, the most important thing isn't the number on the scale today, it's the steps you're going to take in the future to improve that number. That's what's important. If the scale thing didn't hit home for you, let's try another one. If you're a person out there that has high blood pressure, then maybe it's a little scary to go to the doctor and hear those numbers. But you got to go to the doctor. Get checked out in order to get healthy. And sure, the doctor might tell you that the numbers aren't so good, but the doctor's also going to tell you the steps that you can take to improve that number. And that's what's most important. Okay, analogy's over. I want to tell you the two most common ways to calculate your net worth for free and the pros and cons of each method. The first one is a website called Mintcom. And the second one is a website called personalcapital.com. I'm recommending both of these because I've used both before. They're free and both give you a net worth number. But what's better is they allow you to see your net worth increase or decrease over time, and this helps you realize if the way you're spending and saving and using your money is helping you grow wealthy or bringing you further into debt. So let's talk about Mint.com first. I've been using Mint for over the past 10 years. It's a free web-based personal finance management system, and it's owned by Intuit. If that company sounds familiar, it's the same company that owns QuickBooks, TurboTax, and Credit Karma. So Mint allows you to log in, input, and track your bank account, credit card, investment statements, loan balances, all your financial transactions, all in one place. And then, at the end, it spits out your net worth. What's cool about that is it allows you to track that net worth over time. And I like using it too to track your daily spending. Because even if I only hop on once or twice a week, It'll let me know all the transactions that are posted for any of our credit cards or bill pays, and there's even a budgeting feature too. If there are any cons to Mint.com, it would be that they make some of their money through advertisements, specifically financial product advertisements. So whenever I log in, I might get a pop-up for a credit card or for a service that'll help me refinance a student loan or a mortgage. I'm somewhat used to all that, meaning the ads popping up are a part of everyday life online. So overall, the Mint.com experience gets my stamp of approval as a great way of calculating your net worth and tracking your spending. Okay, so let's get into personalcapital.com. Personal Capital is an online financial advisor, meaning they are a wealth management company registered to provide investment advice. Now, the reason I mention them in terms of calculating your net worth is because Personal Capital provides a free management product online that gives you this digital overview of all your finances, much in the same way as Mint. They're linked to all your banks and credit cards and loan companies, but where they differ is they're a product with this analytical planning feature. This means that you're still going to get your net worth, but they're going to be making automated recommendations, analyzing your investments, and essentially giving you a financial checkup from time to time. If there are any cons to Personal Capital, it would be that they make some of their money by acquiring customers to sell investment advice to. So for example, whenever I log in, I might get a pop-up to schedule a free call with their investment advisors. Now this is completely optional. All I have to do is simply decline the call. However, I'm a little less used to this type of sales model. And if you can't tell, I like taking care of my own personal finances. On the other hand, if you'd like to become a client of Personal Capital, they do have a whole team of financial advisors assigned to your accounts in exchange for a fee. Now again, the advisors are completely optional, but not only could you calculate your net worth, you could have a team of people there to help you for a fee. So let's recap. By utilizing one of these two online resources, Mint.com or Personal Capital, you're going to be able to import your financial information in a secure, encrypted manner in order to get this daily picture of all the money and stuff you own and all the money that you owe other people. Remember, all your assets minus all your liabilities is your net worth. So congratulations. Now you know your net worth. I know I said this video was going to be about net worth and the importance of knowing your number. So as we wind it down, I wanted to offer a little bit of advice on what you can do to increase your net worth over time, and a reminder about how sometimes those appearances can be deceiving. Okay, so there is a simple answer to help us all grow our net worth over time, and that is to increase assets while decreasing liabilities. I'll say it again, increase assets, decrease liabilities. Now I'll slow that down, because another way of saying it is to increase the amount of all the money and stuff you own while decreasing the amount of money you owe other people. But not so fast. For starters, there's an entire generation of people burdened with massive student loan debt right now. Statistically, the average millennial earns just under $36,000 a year, has less than $5,000 in their savings account, and has a net worth between $8,000 and $10,000. So I wanted to offer a few actionable tips that you could do today to help increase your net worth. The first would be to take a look at any credit card debt you have. I'm talking about any credit card balances that you are not going to be able to pay off in full by the end of the month. In my opinion, we're fighting a three-headed monster here with credit card debt. So that's where we got to focus our energy. Think about it. You have high interest rates. You're carrying a balance month to month. And emotionally, for a lot of people, it's a vicious cycle that they can never really get out of. So take a breath. Here's the plan. We're going to get truly aggressive and start paying more than the minimum payment every single month. And I suggest calling the credit card company and negotiating down your APR. That stands for your annual percentage rate. That's the interest rate they charge you for borrowing the money. And it's probably high, like averaging over 20%. So here's what you're going to do. Call the number on the back of the credit card and tell them, "Hi, I'm interested in paying off my credit card debt, and I'd like a lower APR." Now, it doesn't hurt to mention that I'm getting a lot of car offers in the mail with much lower rates, so I'd like you to lower my rate too. Then, just be quiet and let them give you an answer. If they tell you no, be sure to mention those other credit cards, again, are offering 0% introductory rates as well as lower APRs. And then simply say, "Isn't there something you can do for me?" And then be quiet and see what they say. Some of the banks, the more popular ones, are great, and they're going to give you a deal. There are other ones that aren't going to cut you a break. But with everything going on right now in the news, I've heard of multiple banks offering their customers as much help as they can to get through these next couple of months. So hey, give them a call, 50-50 shot, maybe it works. This is by no means a guarantee, but maybe they'll be able to offer you a reduced rate, and all it took was 5 or 10 minutes of your time. If it works, now you can pay off that credit card debt faster. Going back to what I said before though, getting started is the most important thing. You gotta pay extra on top of that minimum payment. Even if it's $5 or $10, bringing down the amount of money you owe other people is going to help you get out of debt. Now, for everyone else out there, maybe you don't have credit card debt, but you have other types of debt. You're just looking for a way to pay down something like your car or your house a little bit faster. There are 2 methods that people like to use, and I'll call them payment methods. The first would be referred to as the debt avalanche, where you pay the highest interest rate down first and then move on to the next highest interest rate. And the second is the debt snowball, which is where you pay the lowest balance first and then move on to the next lowest balance. I gotta say, they both have their pros and their cons. One's mathematical, one's more emotional. So, wanted to recommend a resource to you. There's a really good loan calculator online. Go to the website unbury.me. Okay, I'll say that again, unbury.me. Now, whether we're talking student loans or car payments, you can take a look at all your different loans, all the money you owe, and figure out the best way to pay down those debts. And seeing it all laid out for you is perfect. Moving on, it would be completely short-sighted of me to ignore the asset side of things, which is to say, increasing all the money you have helps grow your net worth too. But, quick disclaimer, I'm not about to be one of those people on the internet telling you I have a secret on how to make more money. Instead, I just have a couple actionable tips and an anecdotal story or two that I think might help. The first would be to try to negotiate a raise with your current employer. Now, this isn't always possible right in the moment, meaning it isn't something usually that's going to happen overnight. And I know for most of us, negotiating was not something we were taught in school, so we might feel uncomfortable or intimidated. So if you're hitting your goals at work over the course of a long period of time, then it's okay to ask for a competitive salary. It's just a discussion. It's an okay discussion to have. Remember, compensation and performance usually go hand in hand, not always, not always. Anyway, my second suggestion would be to get another job. That's not to say to quit your current job, but to look into something like freelance work or side hustles. And I'll give you an example of my lovely wife. She teaches just 1 fitness class a week at our local YMCA. Now, I know, 1 hour a week, but it turns out she also earns us a free gym membership, not only for herself, but for me and her kids. So in addition to her full-time job, here she is saving us the expense of $85 per month for a family gym membership. She's earning anywhere between like $40 and $50 per month before taxes. And then the cherry on top is that they offer childcare while we work out. So that's to say that by teaching 1 fitness class per week for 1 hour, you can save yourself the expense of childcare while you're working out, earn some money while you're teaching a fitness class, and not to mention improve your overall level of health because you're willing to find another job, however so small. Now, that's a personal example for me, but there are thousands of other possibilities. To all my teachers out there, you know that tutoring can be great money. You just got to find the time. Another idea, I had a student raise his hand in class just a few weeks ago and tell me that he and his mom tag team this dog walking app together. After school, they make money by walking neighborhood dogs for people who get home a little later from work. Now, I know there's also like countless stores on Etsy. There's bartending on the weekends. Hey, look at me. I'm starting a YouTube channel. What I'm trying to say is that the entrepreneurial side of you can help earn more money to either pay down your debts, cut your costs on your expenses, or just plain save and invest. I feel like we could have a whole other episode on side hustles and how to earn more money. So if that is something you'd be interested in, let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to do that kind of episode. Okay, final recap. By no means are the flashy cars or the big houses a good indicator of personal net worth, because there's no way to tell from the outside looking in who's up to their eyeballs in debt based on the car they drive or the house they own. Instead, utilizing sites like Mintcom or personalcapital.com are a great way to see the amount of money and stuff you own minus all the money you owe other people. This simple math equation tells you your personal net worth. And then you can be on your way to taking the steps necessary to grow that number over time. It really is my sincere hope that those of us in debt get out as quickly as possible, and for those of us on the path of financial independence, we continue to make the proper decisions along the course of our life in order to set ourselves up for a happy and healthy retirement. By the way, please let me know down below in the comments if you prefer Mint.com or personalcapital.com, and if there's any other websites or software that you like to use to help you calculate net worth. See, my goal was to mention these two because I've used them before and they're free to access. But I know there are other popular ones out there, so if you don't mind sharing, I think that would be helpful for all of us. All right, if you stuck around to the end, this was day 2 of YouTube for me. Really, it's like day 4 because it took me a few days to figure out how to edit and upload the videos. Also, thank you so much to those of you that subscribed already. I think we're at about 9 subscribers and close to 100 views on that first video, so thank you so much. You can also tell it's evening time again. I haven't left the house in about 5 days, and we still have another 4 weeks off from school. But they did email us letting us know that we could come back in and get our materials, so I'm looking forward to grabbing what I need and posting some more information for my students. Oh, and I'm using a new camera lens for this video. This one came with the camera. Just wanted to see if it made the background any different, and I tried a few different things to see what would work best. Okay, I'm hoping this video is something you found valuable, and if so, please remember to drop a like down below and hit subscribe, please. My plan is to keep doing these videos while we are all stuck at home, and I'm taking requests on topics, so just let me know in the comments what type of videos on personal finance you'd like to see. It could be money management, budgeting, saving, investing, real estate, credit cards. I think that covers a lot of the topics. All right, YouTube video number 2. Done. As always, I'm Rich, and until next time.